bit strange than what we're used to. So obviously, the return to play protocol for UEFA is quite strict. So our commitment to it really starts from the moment we get the appointment, because obviously we've got to sort out all our COVID testing and flights out to Finland, and it's obviously a completely very different environment. Obviously, we're used to being a little bit more free travel, airports being busy, getting to the venues and being allowed to the freedom to wander around, really. But now it's all under quite tight restrictions, so everything is tightly monitored. We have a very, very strict kind of timelines in terms of what we can and can't do, and obviously we've got to try to limit the risk for us, either, well, hopefully not to pass anything on, but to us to contract anything whilst we're out there, and obviously affect any of the players. Well, buzzing, to be fair, to get an appointment. So I've been relatively lucky this season to be offered appointments on a kind of regular basis, a monthly basis with UEFA. So whilst there's nothing happening here, it's quite good still that I can stay in the fold. But yeah, always buzzing to kind of get a UEFA appointment. I think behind the scenes, it's dead straightforward, because the preparation, okay, there's a little bit more paperwork to kind of get things sorted out, and obviously the testing procedures, but behind the scenes, it's normal preparation. So we'll be preparing by watching videos, researching both the teams. So I had some games from Finland. I also had some games from Italy and past experiences of both teams. So I tended to go back through them and start mapping out what my game plan would be, or what the referee's team game plan needs to be. In terms of when you're out there, it's bang normal, really. I suppose that I feel a little bit rusty, because the things aren't, when you're refereeing every single week, doing applying the laws of the game, because they changed in the summer. So having the opportunity to apply them on a regular basis is something that we've not had. So I feel, sometimes in games, you've got to think about a lot more rather than it just becoming second nature. So it's maybe mentally a little bit more draining, and possibly physically, in terms of the training at the moment, is not geared to a match day. So it's more geared to kind of a continuous training program, which is a slight change. For me personally, it's cleaned nearly all of our refereeing commitments out. So obviously futsal last played middle of February last year. So now domestically we haven't had anything in place for a year. I think we managed to get one opportunity outdoors down in London to play on the outdoor courts I think it was early September, but after that there's been nothing. In terms of my additional roles, because I tutor and I support the domestic program here as well, obviously all the tutoring has been postponed, so we're not out there tutoring new referees. We're not recruiting anybody new into the system, which is a problem. So we are losing referees naturally, as you do every year, and this season's obviously been a lot worse because of the restrictions and etc. and people just generally losing interest. But we're not recruiting anybody either, so we're quite busy contemplating what's going to happen from the summer onwards. But the preparation work that we normally do on behind the scenes to support the program has also kind of slowed down a little bit as well. So we're only meeting once a month now as a referee team, and rather than on a more regular basis. And obviously we've not met face to face for well over a year. So we actually haven't seen our referees, the majority of our referees, for the best part of 18 months, which is quite a long time, to be fair. There's going to have to be some changes for the system. Obviously, with the FA's decision to do what they've done, has affected the England team in the main. And I think it's really important that the futsal community understand that it's a massive impact in terms of losing the England team, but the system underneath doesn't really change to what was already in place. So the grassroots game got not a great deal of funding anyway, except through the Pokemon Futsal Cup, which is the youth cup, but that's still in place, albeit obviously temporarily suspended because of this current situation, but that still remains. So the leagues still happen. So the national series will still happen once it gets going. Whether that's this year or in September, we will wait to see. The National Futsal League is still formed, so that will still come back. And then there's a regional futsal series as well. So it's a little bit of a restart. So we can now build on the competitions that were the problems. I mean, some of the reasons why England maybe weren't the most successful on the pitch in terms of international competitions was mainly for years of not having a proper league structure and a more competitive league structure. So hopefully that can now be the main focus, because that is our elite end of the game. I'm hoping to obviously continue refereeing for a couple more years. It's a World Cup year this year, so I'm on the long list. So at the moment with FIFA, so we're on fortnightly meetings with FIFA online to go through standardization, so laws of the game, video tests, working with other countries, referees from other countries in terms of getting some standardized practice. So that's an absolute huge priority for me, without a shadow of a doubt. Whether that'll happen, I don't know. So, but I just want to make sure that I can put myself in the best position possible. So, hence the continuing with the training and the education, and having futsal still as a daily routine. So that's there's still some competitions left this year. There are still some internationals. There's Champions League Final 8, which is a possibility for me being in the elite category. But some of these decisions are all out of my hands. The only thing that I can do is do what I can. It's just more challenging when you've not got domestic games to kind of focus on and thrive on. So it'll be a matter of kind of looking at what experiences I can get refereeing that maybe aren't on a traditional futsal court or in a traditional format that I'm used to on a weekly basis. So what would be really good, obviously, you get the competitions up and running, and it's a little bit easier for everybody. But if we're struggling for competitions, I think what is really important for Derby, and I'm sure Matt and the team will help. I know in terms of organising mini tournaments, youth events, friendly fixtures, because we're all chomping at the bit to get games. We need games for match practice anyway, because I've been rusty coming onto a pitch, only being able to do a game a month. Our other referees will be equally rusty when they've not refereed for a whole year. So the sooner that they can get back in some kind of format, indoors or even on a futsal court outside, would be good for us all, be good for the players, be good for the referees to get involved in. So yeah, anything that they can do practically wise there and get us engaged, that would be brilliant.